Alright, what's up, everybody? I am not showing myself today. It's just one of those days. But I thought it would be a good thing to say hey, if you've never tried out futures by chance, today might be a good day to do that. In fact, I forgot to show you the thumbnail. Yeah, you might be in luck because, geez, crypto is pretty much creeped to the almost bottom of every chart. And right now, what we're looking at is we are looking at APE. APE, which has been rather, uh, I don't want to say violent. That's not the word, but I guess it was pretty violent there for the second. It just got kind of out of control, and has now fell down into the daily fair value gap. So I'm right now on the 4 hour. If I change this to the daily, you can see that it has, well, basically from this day to this day, this imbalance in between is now getting to that imbalance and dipping into that. Now, if you've watched any of my videos before, you understand that that is a technically a smart money move. That's what this channel is all about, is smart money. Smart money is what basically there's an algorithm behind it. And the charts are primarily pushed by those that can afford it, those who own most of it, which is probably a couple institutions that are in cahoots together, or it's just the algorithm that knows exactly where the price is going to go, or these people know where to push the price. I don't know, but either way, it all seems to work out the same, and it's very, very odd. So, right now, as you can see, we have this, and even though it did break this high, right? So that would be a break of structure, which I don't know if you can see. I have this new um, overlay on TradingView. It's called Super Order Blocks /FVG /BOS Tools by Makachaku in FA. Um, I stumbled upon this and I was like, okay, these guys pretty much coded exactly how I like to address my charts, except for their break of structure is usually a little bit different than mine. I could probably go in there and color it a little bit differently if I wanted to, but I haven't. But because the way I like to do break of structures is by closes and by larger time frames. So days right here, um, like this close right here. See how this close. Let me move this down. Boom. Okay, so this close here was about 1329, right? And then this one here closed just above it, about 1329. So just about 10 cents above it. So that to me is a break of structure, not the wick and then another, either wick being equal with it or going higher than it. The wicks don't matter to me because the wicks just runs on liquidity. And what matters is the close, because that is part of the algorithm that'll tell you if it's holding on long enough to try to close and break this cycle, right? So it does. It breaks it here, boom, moves up, and then it breaks the previous high that it had been holding, which had been the 28th of March, and then runs up at the very end of April. And then ever since the beginning of May, we've just seen this downward spiral. But today, you see it dip into the daily fair value gap, and I am not for sure it could be one of those things to where it could go halfway into the consequent encroachment, as we call it, because that would honestly be right about maybe a little bit higher than that. So it looks like it went off the wick of this second candle here, which is still part of, well, this is actually, yeah, this would be part of the order block, would be these two candles, because they'd be moving downward. As you can see, this would not be part of the order block because it got lower, had to move back up, and then came down. So the point of when it starts moving down again and doesn't have really a stopping point, and it doesn't get lower than the other candle, like if this one got lower than this candle, then yeah, this would be the order block right here. But it's not. These two are both the order block. So it comes down, touches the order block, and now it's starting to move back up in the bullish direction. Now the question is it going to hit the bearish order block, which would be right here, your first up candle, before the next down candle closes below it? That's the main thing you got to think about, just the close below it. So it can come up here, it can touch this. And this is why I'm saying if you haven't played futures, you might be lucky, because you can catch up probably a bunch of scalps today just by looking at these. So, and this one may have already done it. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I have to look at it on the 1 hour basis to find out. Now it looks like it just now came down and touched the order block. So looks like it might be on its way up. And that would also be a 1 hour fair value gap just above that bearish order block. So it might go up and to even touch that, but then it might come back down and fill this fair value gap. So last time I was on APE, I was saying, hey, it's gonna, I think it was over here maybe, and it was just now getting down into here, or maybe I think it was here. It just touched the bottom of here and it was moving up, and I was thinking, okay, well, it touched here, it's moving up. We looked at the Fibonacci on it. It's probably going to go up from here. No, it decided to turn around and go against me. And I should have seen it, down all the way down here with another daily fair value gap. So that's an imbalance, and imbalances are where price likes to run. They like to run toward those imbalances because they like to fill them, especially if they're on a larger time frame. So that's why I like larger time frames, such as daily, even weekly. Weeklies can give you a lot of information, 4 hours, things like that. But once you get down to the 1 hours and the 15 minutes, that's where you really want to make your trades off of. That's not really where you want to be making your analysis off of. So just FYI. So I'm not for sure what we're going to see here. If we're going to see APE bounce off this, come up here, and then come back down and fill the rest of the fair value gap, or if it's just going to kind of die off, fill the rest of the fair value gap, then we might see it pick up, once it hits toward the bottom here, near around $10. Not exactly for sure. I personally think it'll probably bounce off of this bearish order block or this 4 hour fair value gap, and then go downwards and then fill the rest of the fair value gap, and then probably consolidate before it moves on up. So we got a while, but I think before the weekend is over, we're going to see some movement upwards. So it might consolidate here for a little bit before it finally moves up, like on Saturday or Sunday, before the week is up, and then next week, boom, starts off with a drop again. So you got to think about how the weekly candles form, right? They're always going to have a wick on each side, right? And they're always going to have the body, but it's just how do they form in between. So I always think about that, and so I always think about the weekend. If it hasn't came up yet, it probably will, and then drop again for the beginning of the week next week. Or it could be the opposite way around. It could be holding out until the end of the week, and then as the beginning of the week starts, or toward the end of the week, could be coming up as the beginning of the week starts, hits the opening point, pulls back down, and then boom, shoots up again. So you have a little wick there down at the bottom. So that's kind of things that I would be looking for in APE, either a run up and then a drop off, or a consolidate and then run up. One of the two. But and then in the next couple days you'll know, because you'll know how the weekly candle is formed, right? Next one I want to go to really quick is Bitcoin. I want to try to get through some of these really quick. I didn't want to try to waste anybody's time today. I want to try to get through Bitcoin. It's not going to Bitcoin. It's going to Riot for some reason. Riot looks like it's at the lowest it's ever been. So unfortunately, there's no futures for Riots, but there is options. So if you wanted to spend about $900, you could probably do that and probably come out on top, to be fairly honest. And why I said $900, because it'd probably be $9 for a contract, or 90 for a contract, 100, 100 per contract, so 900, and that's why I was thinking 900. Anyways, just a number. All right, Bitcoin. I know there's a lot going on my chart here. All right. So what we have is there is a 4-hour fair value gap right here where this gold is, and it looks like on there. Oh no, this might be mine too. This is mine. It looks like over another 4-hour fair value gap just below the gold one. So we have a green one and then a gold one, right? It looks like previously it has filled this 4-hour fair value gap, but I have extended it just because that is one daily candle that did that. Even though it was one daily candle, it probably could have took the whole day, who knows, but it doesn't look like it because it's a pretty big spike down. So now that it went back up, it's finally drifting back down. Again, we are still in a bullish chart on Bitcoin, believe it or not. So if I were to really zoom out of here, you got to think these levels last summer, those were some pretty low lows at about 20,000, somewhere around there, before it finally started moving up. You got to think we haven't got anywhere near that pretty much since then. We got pretty close earlier this year, I should say. And we're kind of getting close again, but I think what's going to happen is we're probably going to split this 4-hour fair value gap down the middle. It looks like that's what it's doing now. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I want to see what it's like on boom. Okay, so if we put a fib on that 4-hour fair value gap, top to bottom, hits about exactly the middle. Boom, turns around, it's going back up. So that would be considered the consequential encroachment, that 50% line. And that's about exact where I would think it would hit, right? Especially if we're going to continue being bullish. Yes, it might drop into these gaps still, but they're not going to get lower than any of the previous lows. All right, so Now, and it also colors these any kind of high volume candles. It will color them a different color. At least I put them to color them a different color. So we do have a fair value gap here in between, today and looks like the 4th. So I wonder if it would get up into here and possibly touch the top of this 4-hour fair value gap, and that would be your scalp for the day or the weekend, and then cut it off there, because then it would probably fall back off and try to fill this 4-hour gap in. So that's what I'm thinking Bitcoin is going to be doing. Ethereum. I'm on the 4-hour on Ethereum right now. Right here we have a daily fair value gap. It has just filled the daily. And over here, I'm on the 4-hour. We do have a bullish order block on the 4-hour. I'm not for sure what that looks like on the daily. It just looks like it filled an imbalance, came down to here. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Well, I mean, kind of a bullish order block over here, so it would be the top of this green candle, actually, because that would be the last high before the push down, before it starts getting bullish and overtakes it and closes above it. So interesting place there for it to bounce off, but now it looks like it might do a bullish move. It looks like we have some equal highs here as well that it might shoot for. Let me get in the 4-hour and see what they've got going on here at the 4-hour. High volume candle, of course, is taken up and off. Looks like there's some equal highs here too. Could be going just past those into the next fair value gap, which would be right here in between 27.71 and 29.14. And here it looks like it would actually probably split the middle as a consequential encroachment due to a bearish order block, as you can see right there. I know I got a lot of lines going on here. Let me erase some of these that probably won't matter here in a little bit. So it looks like could be bouncing off of here, coming up here, hitting this bearish order block in the 4-hour fair value gap. Now, is it going to stay in here? I don't know. Is it going to come back down in here, fill this gap? I don't know. Could do both. And then eventually come back up. And then hopefully break these highs up here. And that would be this fair value gap right here, coming all the way over. That's what I would be looking for in ETH. So if you wanted a quick scalp, again, I would look for this bearish order block. And let me see here. Another one I wanted to look at was METISDAO. We looked at it the other day. It started off at a really good price, and I was talking about it being, if it was an institutional level, institutional number, it'd be right at the 0, would be where the bottom level of the wave would be. And that being, your 61%, or 61.8% would be right here. Your 80 would be right here, and look, it's almost like it knew exactly where to go. That 80% retracement is a killer. It almost knows, like, hey, this is the 80% retracement. And now, well, I mean, it did get down there, and boom, it ran back up really, really quick to that 61.8% and then fell again. So if you have any money in NetSwap and hopefully the pools and everything that you've invested in are making some money, because that's what I did recently. Is I kind of stopped doing the whole futures for a while, and I started focusing on the Web3 pools, Trader Joe, here at NetSwap, some other things at Uniswap, just to try to get some passive income. Because to me, I thought at the time, it looked like the prices were starting to go up, and then all of a sudden, bam, they came down this week. So maybe it's just this week. I don't know. I don't know. This thing's been coming down. Well, this thing's been coming down for a while. But hopefully, now we start to see a return, because everything has been so low. I guess we will just have to wait and see. Let's see what else. I mean, because I'm hoping this does turn around and take off and go up a lot higher, because I do have an interest in this. And again, if we were to put it at the 20, the discount would be here. And it would have gotten below the 80, almost to the 88.6. So again, 0, 20, 50, 80 institutional levels. Remember those. So if you get something like this, and I've done this with, I think it was CAD USD before, where it was coming down, and it was kind of hard to measure. And I used an invisible institutional level, and then it made sense to me because of what else was happening on the chart. And I was like, oh, it's going to come here, and then sure enough, it did. And I was able to buy at the right time, and it turned around and went off the other way. So hopefully that's what's happening here. Okay, so METISDAO still, I mean, it looks like it's made its low, I think, which is somewhere near $40. And hopefully right now it's at like $46.97, about $47, nearly 50. Hopefully we can get this thing going upwards. Another one I wanted to look at was going to be that's his indicator. Avalanche. Like I said, I've been doing some Trader Joe's, and Avalanche. Like I said, if you've never done any kind of futures, today is a good day to do them, because Avalanche is at one of its lowest points it's ever been. It'd be a great time to buy. Well, it was a great time to buy probably about 30 minutes ago or so. I know I did. I didn't put too much leverage on it, just because I don't have a lot of money in these accounts, because they're all in the other accounts where they're staked, which was not a good move, but unfortunately. But right now, I went long with AVAX at entry price 56.77. currently in the green about 11%, so that is good. Okay, so wow. And also APE. Well, let's go back to AVAX anyway, and let's see what's possible here before we shut this one down. Again, probably halfway through. Let's see here. We got this is a 4-hour chart. I would assume the 4-hour fair value gap. Now, underneath it, to where you would get a bearish order block would be right here. That's coming nowhere near halfway. That's around 60. I mean, right at about 60 even. I mean, look at how just fast this is growing. This is crazy. It's good. I like it. Let me get down on the hour though to see, because it can probably hit a bearish order block somewhere. Look, it looks like we got a lot of even wicks here. Looks like it's probably trying to bust above that, because it looks like previously that the body of this up candle was what was keeping it below that, right? That was your bearish order block. Now it looks like it's trying to bust through it. Interesting as we watch it happen, actually. That is trying to bust through the bearish order block after coming down, breaking the sell side liquidity, which would be this low right here, right? Because a lot of people probably thought, again, there's two equal lows right there. What happens when you get two equal lows? Liquidity. That just means that it's going to fake people out. It's going to make people think that it is equal lows because there is a silly little support line there that people believe exists. Supports, they do exist, but they don't exist in the fact that price is going to hit the same point twice, and then that's going to be your support. That's not how support works. Support is going to be working as a breaker, which that would be. It to take me a while to explain a breaker, but it would be like a. Let me see if I can find one in here. Okay, yeah, there is one here. It's actually the same green candle. So you have, as price is coming down, it goes up and then goes down even further, right? So your last up candle, the body of it is your breaker. So that once, what I'm thinking now is going to happen is, now that we see this breaker here, is that price could run through it, right? Break up into this fair value gap, probably hit, some kind of bearish order block maybe, or that bearish order block I was talking about. Then it turns around, pulls back, and then gets into the body of this breaker that's right here, and that would be considered your support. Once it gets up and over it and it pulls back down into it, then it's support. Then it's almost impossible to break down into, and it has something to do with this down, up, down, close below movement. That has to do with those that that had the institutional power to push it up, right? So they're still holding longs, right? And they may still be holding a long all the way up into here, and may even all the way until it comes back, because they have to push it. They have to sell it off, and push it back. They may still be holding it long as it comes back down in here. They released that long. Now they broke even. Boom. They add another long, and they make money that way. Something like that is how these institutions make money, right? Off these trades. It's interesting to see AVAX be where it is right now, just below this breaker. I wonder if it's gonna keep trying or not. I don't know. And then lastly, or not lastly, what am I saying here? I'm going to look at APE. I think we did. Oh, yeah, we already looked at APE. Yeah, because it came down to the daily fair value gap. That's right. There was one more I wanted to look at. I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it was Luna. Maybe it's because I spelled it wrong. Luna. USDT, BUSD. Let me see here. 3 long. Let's see what the market cap is. Let me see what Luna point D. So if you don't know anything, point D is going to give you the market cap of that coin. So Luna's at 1.7. I think I did this with AVAX earlier. AVAX is lower than that, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 0.9. Huh. Okay. Let me see what Metis is. Metis.d, is that one? Maybe I should do METISDAO. METISDAO, Rat Phantom. That's a spooky swab. Okay. I'm not finding the METISDAO. Dominance, BTC.D. Now we can see what the Bitcoin dominance is. We are as low as 41.71%. I wonder what the ETH dominance is. Wow, 20.78. So this is good news for ETH right here. So even though it looks like it's going down, ETH's dominance is picking up quite a bit. That's interesting. So much to the point that it's... Well, it looks like it had been higher before, but still, now it's picking back up again. That's quite the feat. Let's see how DOT is doing. Not too great. Okay. And how about our good pal XRP? Almost 2%, huh? Interesting. But it's going down. Going down. All right. What was? I thought there was one. Oh yeah. Of course, BNB. I want to check out Binance. I want to check out all the layer twos basically, because layer twos are gonna tell us where the money is. Who's trusting who of on gas fees and who's giving us the better staking options and things like that. So I should check out Phantom as well. Okay, BNB looks like BNB stuck around 380. This one didn't drop really at all. Looks like it broke structure early last month, but it had been going kind of up and down recently. And it looks like now it may be trying to turn around due to this bullish order block right here. So that would be this guy right there. Last green candle going down. Comes down into it. Boom. Probably going to try to rock it back up. So Binance, you might see some bullish remarks. Like I said today, I feel like we really saw a huge drop, but in a good way. And all right, so let's check out Phantom. Let's check it out, FTX. Yeah, see right now would be a perfect time to put a long in on Phantom. 73 cents. It's just now getting to a daily, well, it looks like there is like a small, tiny little, and it looks, yeah, tiny little fair value gap right there. Yep, there was a fair value gap, and it has ran down into it, broke to about the halfway point, pulled up back out, hit the top of it. Looks like Phantom would be a great long for the day. Or it might just be a good long up until it hits, again, the bearish order block. Let's see what the 1 hour has got it doing. Bearish order block being right here. Looks like it came up and touched it once. Really hasn't tried to defeat it again. Looks like it could come back down, hit this candle, pull back up. And then, let me think. Oh yeah, Matic. Last layer 2 I can think of. And $1. I'm sure a ton of people were buying it whenever it got below $1.50, not realizing how low it was going to get to. And now, people are probably regretting a lot of their moves that they made because they weren't patient and they weren't reading the chart like they should have been. That's why whenever I'm doing things, especially whenever I'm running my signals group, I have a signals group that I talk to people in, I give them my signals. My mind can change on a dime on, okay, it looked like it was doing this. Now it looks like it's probably going to do this because of this candle didn't close below this or whatever it was. let's short it now, even though we might be losing $3 or $4, but there $30 or $40, whatever it may be that you're doing. But you more than likely could make that up if we see that it's not breaking structure and it's possibly going down to another point. Add more leverage to it. Boom. Next thing you know, you're up 10, 20%, and yeah, just keep on going. So I think that's what's happening here. Everything just dropped as low as it could, and we should see some bullishness going into the weekend at least, and then we'll have to see what happens on Sunday. But yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for listening and watching, and I hope you all have a fabulous Mother's Day weekend. I'll probably talk to you before then. Maybe I'll show my face. Maybe I'll not. Love you guys. Bye.